Yo, what up, everybody? What's going on? We are back for another episode of the DC podcast, the Dangling Carrot podcast, and we have a guest on here today by the name of Tatianah Green. Y'all get up for her. And Miss, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you, Herbert? Good seeing you
Doing
again.
well. I need a clapping cue. They have it, but I'm a cue that in there.
We'll
Feel
put
like
it
it's
in post.
necessary. So I've been following her on IG for quite a while now, and been watching this journey. And one that was very consistent was this financial journey. So we're gonna jump into that, especially as a proud single and the host of the podcast, Blissful Singles,
Bliss for singles. Yep.
Bliss for Singles. Okay,
Yes.
there you go, there you go. So where can they find you?
Yeah. So my IG, my personal IG, where I'm sharing my financial journey, is honestly Tatiana. So you see that in the lower
Mm-hmm.
third there. But my blog, Bliss for Singles, has been around since 2012. So we just celebrated 12 years in singles ministry, and now we have a podcast version of the blog. So there's usually recorded episodes of the blogs in case people want to hear instead of
Mm-hmm.
read, and then occasionally I do interviews with people and share some of my thoughts about things that are going on in singleness, dating, relationships, marriage preparation, all those fun things. And I like to
Right.
incorporate the faith-based perspective, popular culture, black culture, and
Mm.
everything in between.
So there you go, singles. All right, but can married people listen to your podcast as well?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. I have shout out to my married fan base. They know who they are. They definitely check in, and then they like to give me feedback too. So I appreciate that.
There you go. There you go, y'all. So Bliss for Singles, check it out. And I'm gonna start checking it out too. But
Thank you.
I was watching this financial journey. But before we get started with that, I got some rapid fire questions for you. We start off all of our
Oh,
guests with
okay.
these rapid fire questions. You don't know what's going to be asked, so I'll get the
Okay.
nice natural response. So here we go. We're gonna start off light. How do you usually answer your telephone?
Hello.
That's
I usually, if even if I know it's them, I like to do the hello just in case. Maybe it's a Chicago thing. Like, I'm like, oh, make sure it's the same person who I
mm-hmm.
saved the number as. I don't want anybody to catch me up.
Okay, so you don't like answer the phone speaking Spanish or anything. Just
Mm-mm. I
okay.
usually go hello.
Like I guess like most normal people. Okay. All right. So what is one thing you wish you enjoyed more? Now this is a little deep, I guess.
I wish I enjoyed being in the present more.
Mm.
I'm an introvert by nature. I guess that I'm a more introverted personality. So I'm always thinking. I have multiple tabs
Mm-hmm.
open in my brain. So I'm constantly thinking about what I got to do later, what I got to do tomorrow, what I did yesterday, what I still need to do today. And I just need to embrace being in the right now. I think that's a
Mm.
lot of times where God is. And we need
Mm-hmm.
to truly like embrace that peace that comes
Yeah.
with the present. We can't dwell too much on the future, too much on the past. We just have to enjoy what we have right now. So
No,
that's my
that's
answer.
real right there. Okay, let's go lighthearted again. Favorite Disney character?
Oh, there's so many. There's so many. Okay, I think the first one that came to mind was Simba from The Lion King. That's my favorite
Okay.
'90s animated movie.
Okay, the animated. Wait, you
Yeah.
want okay the animated? Okay, I'm about to say yeah, the live action one wasn't that good.
I
I
didn't even
mean,
watch
did
it.
you like that
I
one?
heard too many. I didn't even watch it. I heard too many bad reviews about the live action one. I'm not even going to insult my millennial self with that.
Mm-mm. Yeah, don't watch it. Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't know favorite person in there, Beyonce, but it just didn't happen. Aladdin did well though. Aladdin did good.
Oh, yeah, I did watch that one. Shout
See,
out to Will Smith.
see, there you go. Aladdin did great.
He helped saved it a little bit, not gonna lie.
Yeah, if he wasn't in there, I don't know who would have had it in there. It would probably been
Exactly.
as bad. All right, what is your hidden talent?
Hidden talent. It's a little hidden. I can. speaking a British accent pretty well compared to, I guess, my cultural accent. My mom is Haitian, so I'm half Haitian. So I don't speak that much Creole, but I'm learning a lot more now that I live in South Florida. But because
Mm.
I grew up listening to all of these different type of artists, especially those from the UK, I have developed a really good British accent. So it might slip out a little bit if people put me on the spot. It doesn't sound that great to me, but if it comes out in this interview, you might just hear it.
Okay. All right. All right. Okay. Here we go. Two more. All right. What movie do you enjoy quoting the most? You know this movie backwards and forwards.
I love 10 Things I Hate About You.
Mm.
That's a movie, a teen movie, and it's kind of based off of the Shakespeare play The Taming of the Shrew.
Mm-hmm.
So it's funny to me how you see like these young people use these big words. I think because they went to a nicer school,
Yeah.
high
Yeah.
school. But I love that movie. Gabrielle Union is in it. Josh Gordon-Levitt is in it.
Was
The
she a
lead Heath
cheerleader?
Ledger. She was a friend of the girl. I know Gabrielle Union was a cheerleader in Bring It On. Yeah,
There
they're
you
probably
go.
around
This,
around that same era. Yeah, she was in a lot of those movies. And she
and
was like kind of older than a teenager, but she was definitely like a teenager in the
that's what I was
movie.
about to say. Yeah, they still
Yeah,
passed for a teenager, and she was definitely a
yeah,
grown woman. All right.
exactly.
Here we go. The way to your heart is blank.
Thoughtfulness, consideration.
Consideration.
It's yeah.
So instead of a gift, a thoughtful card helps.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Hmm.
like you like being thoughtful, like, oh, you know these little details or you notice these little intricacies about me because you took the time to get to know me. I think those really hit my heart. Yeah, I like to
Mm.
keep those.
There you go. She might not be leading blissful singles much longer now.
Hey.
Somebody just took notes. There. So there you
The
go. That's
DMs are
rapid fire question.
open.
Huh?
The DMs are open.
The DMs are open, y'all. All right. Don't let her leading the podcast Bliss Force singles fool you. You know, she about to give that up to the next host.
Hey.
Yeah, but listen, thank you for coming on. Again, like I said, well, one thing that people don't know, I met Tatiana. Is it about 10 years? Oh,
Mm-hmm.
10 years, right? I
Almost in the
think we,
summer. Yeah.
yeah, we were doing a tour. We were on tour called the Transformation Tours. Shout out to Steven, Stilo, and brother Rick. But we was on tour. We went to, was it Chicago? It was in Chicago.
It was Chicago light. It was in the suburbs of
Yeah,
Riverdale, which is
there you go.
borderline. Mm-hmm.
There you go. So we were there, and then we met Tatiana and her friends, and then that was that, you know. And then kept in touch, and I guess the rest is history. Then come back, fast forward, I see these financial goals videos, and you know, and it really started to. I guess it really started to catch my eye. I would say about beginning of 2023, just really like you seen it fast forward. Not saying that's when it started, but it really really picked up. And so I was like, you know what? Let me check into this and let me see how serious she is. And I just went through the IG and it's like, wow, she's pretty serious, pretty consistent with these posts. So it must be something to it. So that's what we here to hear about tonight. She's gonna let out everything about that. And so my first question really is, how did all this get started? All right. Because if you have financial goals, apparently you started from a place to where, you know, the finances weren't all that.
Right. I
Yes.
am, yeah, I'm not ashamed to tell my testimony because it's not something that's like, oh, it's so terrible. Like, oh, I have my different seasons where, I was on food stamps. I was pretty much growing up middle class in the
Mm-hmm.
suburbs of Chicago. So, South suburbs, anyway, in case anybody needs to know. I got to represent every time. But anyway, yes, growing up in middle class, also a first generation college student. Now, for
Mm.
those who may not know what that means, that's when you're the first in your immediate family to go to college or graduate from college. Maybe you have
Mm.
a parent. or two parents who went to college and they got their associates. But to first generation, you have to get your like bachelor's. And so that's how it became with that title. And I didn't realize that. I just was raised to go to college. That was kind of like the next step. Was there any preparation financially in regards to going to college? No. They told us like, hey, we don't have enough money to pay for you to go to college, so we're gonna take out you're gonna take out these loans, we're gonna take out a parent loan, and that's it. And
Mm-hmm.
so I just going in there to high school, filling out my FAFSA, and trying to apply for scholarships and trying to pick the best school to go to. I ended up going into school in state. I wanted to go out of state, but it wasn't affordable. You know, I
Mm-hmm.
went for the school that was public, that was local, that I could go and pursue something that offered the things that I want to study. So my
Mm.
compromise, I want to go to either a HBCU like Xavier University in New Orleans or go to University of Miami in South Florida.
Mm.
And so those were my two out of state options that I really liked, but they didn't give me enough money to go. So I ended up going to University of Illinois Chicago, and I took out federal student loans.
Yes.
So, and you know what's funny? It's funny and not funny at the same time. I graduated from high school in 2005, and that same year, as many of us remember, that's when Hurricane Katrina hit.
Mm-hmm.
And so I know actually students who went to Xavier who had to come back home because the school wasn't open anymore because of all
Mm-hmm.
the damage from the hurricane. So, sometimes God just, shifts things, or he has his own way of doing things, even if you may not see why it's not working out the way you want to. So I always remember that moment. I was like, oh, dang, see, I would have had to go through all these logistics and trying to transfer to another school,
Mm-hmm.
have to go through all the mess of trying to clean up and go back home after leaving there for maybe a month or two, you know? So fast forward to college graduation, that's 2009. A lot of us have also remembered the crazy recession that was going on during that time,
Mm-hmm.
2008 through whenever it was supposedly over, recession. I know a lot of people in my class that graduated did not have job offers. We were out here struggling, okay? And I had
Mm-hmm.
to work part-time and work here and there, these little odd jobs with my bachelor's degree, and really just wondering what am I going to do next. Then I wanted to pursue, I guess, another degree and to get more experience and get a better chance at a career in communications. That's what I got my degree in. So I went to Valparaiso University to get my master's in digital media. It was a new program. I didn't have to pay for the GRE or take the GRE. And the program was somewhat affordable, but Valparaiso is a private institution.
Mm.
So bring on more loans. So here we go. 2.5 year program, got that degree and got a certification after that. During those years, while I was in undergrad and grad school, whenever I would get the refund check, I did not have the wisdom nor the discipline to save it, invest it, put it
Yep.
towards my debt. I went balling out
Mm-hmm.
of control, Herbert. I went on
Yep.
cruises with my best friend.
Got
I
this extra
went, I
money.
I bought the things I needed right for school, but everything else I was shopping, I have a little shopping
Mm-hmm.
problem. Right? So no one told me, you right? I can't blame anyone else.
Mm.
Also can't be too hard on myself. There's only so much at the time, right? So all that adds up, even if it's money that you take out that ends
Mm.
up becoming a refund, it's still like low key a loan. So you
Still
have to
alone.
eventually
Yep.
pay that back. And thankfully, I didn't get caught up in the whole credit card thing that a lot of teenagers and college students get caught up in. Once they get to
Yeah.
campus, they have these institutions that target them like, hey, you want a credit card? They don't know anything about interest rates, they don't know anything about annual fees, they don't know anything. They're just getting credit cards, racking them up, not paying them. They didn't get me in college.
Mm. In college.
In college. But later on I got that's another story. But yeah, all this added up to a lot of student loan debt. And fast forward to maybe 2019, I'm looking back at all the student loans debt that I accrued,
Yeah.
including interest.
Mm-hmm.
So like remember, like you guys, if you're in college or graduated college, they give you, the federal government anyway, if you have federal loans, they give you 6 months to get a job and get a good paying job enough so you can pay your bill, okay? Because they want their money.
A good paying job after college. How often does that happen?
I don't know the statistics. I didn't know I wasn't in that number. Okay.
Mm.
That wasn't my
Mm-hmm.
testimony,
You see?
especially not for undergrad. And that's one reason why I went to grad school. That helped delay some of the payback on the loans. But after I did grad school, I was like, okay, I don't want to pay for school anymore. I don't want to go through that. That's too much money. I'm just going to get
Yep.
certifications. So, if guys, if you feel like you need to enhance your skills, learn a new skill, get certifications, like more than ever, there's more options to do that. When we were younger, when it was the early 2000s or the teens, we did not have online courses that you can take
No.
everywhere. You had to find them, but they're everywhere now. So you really don't have to necessarily go to college unless you're really trying to go for maybe a law degree, engineering, medical school, or something like that. But for all these little technical jobs, there's a certification or some kind of class outside of the traditional 4 year college that you can do, so you can save money. Because a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people would say that college is a scam. I say I don't regret going to college to get my education. I value education as is something that I don't have any regrets about doing. The only thing I guess I would regret is not knowing about, applying for scholarships and going to the
Yeah.
the boosters office or the financial aid office and letting them know, like, hey, I'm poor, I need some money,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
and you can literally advocate for yourself and get those resources, because a lot of colleges have scholarships, a lot of colleges have grants, and they're just sitting there on the table because students don't know any better. And that's the first
Mm-hmm.
generation college student curse, basically. So
Mm.
if you don't have a mentor, or if you don't have guidance to tell you, like, oh, hey, you need to, do this, you need to apply for that, you're going to be out here just trying to figure it out. And that's part of my story. So I accumulated like almost $100,000
Yeesh.
for communications and digital media degrees. Like,
Wait, so
what?
this is all your degrees. It's not counting the credit card debt that you got.
No, no,
Oh.
we're just talking about the school stuff, and thankfully it's all federal. Oh, I think the other got situation was when I had to get a new car. My
Mm.
first car was purchased by my mom. Thank you to mom. She got me my first
Mm-hmm.
car. Then I had to start working immediately. She's like, this ain't no free car.
Right.
You gotta work for this gas money, girl. But after that car kind of broke down and I had to get a new one, no one was able to co-sign for me. I had to get another loan. I ended up getting a
Mm-hmm.
private loan, and it wasn't even a car loan. It was a school loan because it was for school. So I don't know why I did that. I think my boyfriend at the time recommended getting a loan. I was like, why? What in the world? Now I'm looking back, I'm literally paying on that still. And I got that car in 2009. Do I still have that car? Absolutely not. But why is it 15 years later and I still have that car? This is so embarrassing, Herbert. I feel like I'm all over the place, but it's
I'm
so
trying to figure
embarrassing.
this out.
Me too.
2009. 15 years later, this car is still being paid.
Whew.
How much was the car?
Child. It was a Nissan Sentra, 2006, and I think I took out maybe 23,000
Mm.
for it. It was embarrassing. It was an embarrassing time in my life.
Ah. I, I would say embarrassing, but I mean, this is so many other people's story. To be honest with you,
Yeah.
student loan debt, credit card debt.
Mm-hmm.
I'm broke. Need to figure out a different way to get my
Child,
car. I need a car, so I need
you
to
need a
take this
car.
out. And
I guess I
before you
didn't have
know
the
it,
credit or something to get a car loan. I don't know how that worked. I don't know. It was so
mm,
long ago. But the point
you
is,
remember
I'm
the interest rate?
still. I think it was less than 10%. I don't know. I don't remember that part.
Sound like So it could have been like 9% interest.
It could have been 9.99 honestly. I don't know.
Gee.
I just needed a car, bro. Like that's I needed to get from A to Z.
Oh man, I hope it was
And no cosigner, no Nathan.
no cosigner.
Um yes, it's wild. Um yeah, so I have a new car now. Had a new car for almost 5 years now, and I owe less on that than I do on the old car. I have two car payments. This is ghetto. This is extremely ghetto. And this is why I'm doing this series because I think it's so necessary for us to be honest because
Yeah,
to me a theme for the books that I'm going to come out with is the more it, breakthroughs happen when we're a little more honest,
yeah,
right?
absolutely.
So I feel like you get breakthroughs in your life when you admit to things. Maybe again, not beating up on yourself, but just admitting like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, this happened. I'm gonna take this L, but guess what? I'm gonna turn into a lesson. I'm going to make something out of it. Either it's gonna be
Yeah,
a lesson for somebody else, or it's gonna be that look in the mirror kind of moment, so I can look at myself and make better decisions for tomorrow. So
and that's
those are
good.
just a couple of mistakes, but yeah.
Okay, just go. So I mean, what I guess when was the moment like that you said this has to stop? This is it. I'm gonna start working on this right now because usually that high amount, normally people will say, "Forget it. This is never gonna get paid off."
Right.
So we just
Mm-hmm.
gonna, you know, live, figure out another way to get what we need. But what was the moment for you where it just clicked? Like, okay, we about to start this because now it's kind of like a lightweight movement for you. It's not just your own personal decision, but now you're letting other people know that this is my
Mm-hmm.
journey. This is what I'm doing. So, like,
Yeah.
kind of what triggered that? Well, I guess what was the last financial straw that broke the camel's back?
Oh my goodness. It was just realizing that, you might have grown up either if you had money or you don't have money, it doesn't matter. There is such thing as a poverty mindset. You can have abundance
Yeah,
financially and still have a poverty mindset. And I think that really clicked for me maybe like several years ago. Like being in church culture, you learn different things, and so poverty mindset is not just spiritually, it's also mentally.
yeah,
And so a lot of people can get stuck mentally thinking that they're gonna live paycheck to paycheck because that's all they knew, that's all they
yeah.
saw, that's all they think. And right, so it's like we have to take the limits off our mind, and we also have to take the limits off of God. And
Mm,
one thing I'm grateful for is family members who've encouraged me over the years to be to go to church, to believe in Jesus, to believe in the value and the act of tithing. um, my view on it changed over the years, but I definitely value tithing. I tithe faithfully because I've seen it happen for my life, sowing into the ministry that I feel led to sow into.
right.
Everybody's different in where they choose to put their monies, but for me, I do believe tithing is a value that God honors, and that definitely brought some dividends, and some seeds were planted, and I'm blossoming and harvesting
Mm,
some good stuff in this year for sure because of all the years I've had to sow and not
mm,
really seen much growth. But what started that change in the right direction, Herbert, was really like finally figuring out that, oh, there's hope for me regarding these student loans. It was
yeah,
really it was really heartbreaking if anybody pays student loans, whether they're federal, private, whatever, or just loans in general. House loans, car loans, credit cards, if you have to pay anything with interest and then that interest kicks in, it's like you're flushing money down the toilet. And
absolutely.
with student loans, I would make payments like maybe $200, and then 175 would be eaten up because it has to go to interest. And so I'm
Mm-hmm.
left with only 25 going to the principal. Again, I have racked up $97,000 worth of student loan debt, including the accrued interest over all those years.
And it's just
I've been out of
going down the drain.
college, right? I've been out of like college or grad school since 2012, and then I started paying it back in 2013. Then I found out that President Obama was doing the student loan forgiveness program or public service loan forgiveness program.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time, I was working for a nonprofit back in Chicago. And a friend of mine pointed me to a service that they were doing to help advocate for students and people who were paying back their loans to make sure that they got their paperwork together. Because back in the day, back in the day, maybe not so much back in the day, but federal student aid, that shout out to that lovely place, but they were not that organized and their
Oh no.
customer service was not that great, and they lost people's information, and you had to
Mm.
tussle with them on the phone to make sure that every credit was counted, because part of that program is you have to work for a qualified employer, which means it could be a nonprofit, it could be a school, it could be government, something like that, but it has to be in that criteria. And you had to make 120 payments. That is 10
Yep.
years
I remember that.
working for them, 10 years a slave child. And
Mm-hmm.
so I was like,
Yep.
oh, I have experience in, local government. I had a job working in a local government by my house, where I used to live, and now working for a nonprofit. Might as well see this through.
Right.
10 years.
10 years.
10,
10 years.
10 years.
Like before I see any forgiveness, I gotta pay for 10 years.
It don't feel like 10 years until you get to year like 8. And then you're like, I don't see any change yet. Where's the
Mm-hmm.
change? Where is it? Yeah. so
Man.
now, fast forward through all that, I stayed in my job for like 5 years. Then I got let go. Then I had a 7 months unemployment looking for a new job. I wanted to find a qualified employer because I'm like already halfway in this. I'm gonna see this through. My parents are like, why don't you just get a better paying job? I'm like, it's not that simple. I don't want to pay them any more money. I
You
don't
was
know if
you was
it's
looking at that debt pay.
listen, I don't know if it's pride, but I did not want to give the government any more of my money. Okay.
Oh, yeah,
I was like,
absolutely.
y'all got this program, forgive this loan. Forgive these loans, Joe. Then Joe came in.
Joe.
um,
Oh, I thought you was like really using the Chicago Joe. But you was talking
Joe
about Joe.
Trump came
Yeah.
in. I was nervous. I was like, he better not change nothing in this situation. And then
Mm-hmm.
when Joe Biden became president, I was like, okay, maybe we could keep this. but every time they had some kind of government shutdown, anything, I was like, pins and needles, like, ooh, what they
Mm-hmm.
gonna do? What they gonna do? But I'm just grateful that back to that figure, 97,000. That's just the estimate, but that's what it was the first half anyway.
Mm.
I finally see some light at the end of the tunnel, Herbert. Okay, so December of 2023, I'd log into my Mahila account because I do my own audits. I make sure that I'm on top of my payments. Period.
Okay.
You're not gonna get me. So I check it, and there's a letter that says that we're putting your oh yeah, you met your requirements for these loans 1 through 5. You still got 6 through 13, but
Mm-hmm.
1 through 5, we gonna clear those out. I was like, are you for
Nice.
real? So that took about $25,000 off of my debt. That was all of my student loans from my undergrad time. So I am down to $72,000
Mm.
currently as of right now. And I checked my Mohila account last week just in case,
Just
they want to surprise me.
right.
But yes, God is faithful, and I am going to be the student loan debt free as of
Mm-hmm.
this year, 2024, before June, in Jesus' name.
Wait, so you
We
about to
made
knock
it.
out 72 in this year?
72.
See, now you got to talk about this strategy because you just said in 1 year you're going
Mhm.
to get rid of $72,000
Yes, the
of.
rest will be forgiven. Yes.
Oh.
Yes, because it's like 6 through 13. Yeah, I have 13 federal student loans. When they got switched over to Mohila, it was still considered to be, public student loans. So
Mm.
it's still part of that program. So the first five, I guess those were part of my undergrad loans. Those are done. But the graduate loans that I took out from 2010 up to 2012, those were still counted. So if I wasn't unemployed for those 7 months, I would be done with everything right
Ah.
now. But I still have to pay my dues, if you will. So I'm almost done with that. So according to the program, I should go on academic or like administrative forbearance. That's what they call it. They give you this really vague email that says you're on administrative forbearance. I'm like, for what? Why are you pausing my stuff? Don't play with me.
Mm.
And then you get a letter. I got the letter like 40 days later. That was the December letter that said that congratulations, your loans are forgiven. And I told everybody who would listen that I would frame that letter, and I am seeing it right now. It's over there.
Mm.
It's over there, next to my diploma. There's my
Okay.
undergrad diploma. There's my letter from
There's the letter.
saying my undergrad loans are forgiven. And you see that blank space over there? That's for
That's
the other loans. There it is. You gotta make room by
you gotta
faith.
make look. The vision is already
Faith,
there.
faith without works is dead.
Y'all,
Huh?
so for y'all that's listening to the podcast, she has a space set aside for that 6 to 13 loan to be done, and she's gonna frame that too. So it means you gotta come back and say something, man. When once that goes up, because I mean, so one thing I gotta say is y'all need to hit up Miss Tatianah Green. She is going to navigate you through your student loans. You don't have to be alone when you're trying to pay off this loan. Because there's a
Yes.
lot of people that was really waiting. Like
Mm-hmm.
when it was promised that I think it was up to 10,000 or something like that of your loans that were going to be paid off. People were
Mm-hmm.
waiting on that. Now I heard that it did
Yeah.
happen for some,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not sure if you heard more about that. But did some of yours get forgiven?
No, for some reason I didn't
Uh,
qualify for that. There were so many different either discounts or full blown forgiveness sweeps that were happening almost every month. And I was like, is it my turn? Am I going to count? Like, I try to check it. I don't even worry about that anymore. I'm like, you know what? I'm on this track. I've been on this track for 10 years. I might as well see it through the traditional way that I signed up for. But shout out to everybody who have been getting those financial blessings, especially those who were older than us, who had to take out 20-year student loans or have been paying on loans for 20 years and they haven't seen much change. Like for me, I guess I learned this as well. It was confirmation for me to keep pursuing this was that not only the interest was insane, having to continually pay on something that wasn't really changing, but talking to my mentor at my previous job, she was mentioning that at her age, she was well over 40. She was still paying on her student loans. I was like, I don't want that to be me. I didn't want that for myself. And a lot of people like talk about what success looks like, and they want to put a figure on it. Like they want to be a millionaire, or they want to have these material things. For me, I desire to be debt free. And that doesn't mean that I need to be rich. I just want to be debt free. I don't like personally owing people money. I don't like owing institutions money. So, yes, I have done or made mistakes that contradict that statement right now, but that's my mindset today is different than when I was a young 20 something trying to figure it out or just paying back my student loans for the first time, trying to like balance that out with all the other responsibilities that I had. It's just wild to me. So I look forward to pursuing that level of success, and then whatever else God wants me to do after I achieve it. Oh, I can't hear you. Oh, Herbert, I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
I thought we would learn from 2020 how to unmute a mic
It's
since
okay.
we were always on virtual and still, and yet you're muted is undefeated. I'm
Undefeated.
I'm still struggling with that.
It's
What I
okay.
was saying was what I was saying was, I think It has to begin somewhere. Yeah, we make mistakes. We have to do or do what we know to do, and not everyone has money just set aside for them to go straight to school. So you do the best, and the next best option, rack up them loans. But the thing is, now the path has started, is moving. Um, but so, what are some steps that you're taking? Right. So now you're talking about this financial freedom, no debt, and I think the quality of life comes after no debt. Because I think you said something that was good. Was I don't even want to be rich. I just don't want to have debt, and a lot of that, a part of building wealth is eliminating the debt, getting out the
Mm-hmm.
way, because just seeing how much more you can do with, because I was paying student loans, things like
Okay.
300 and something dollars a month.
Yeah, it's a hot
Yeah.
mess,
And you
if I'm
keep,
gonna say
and,
so.
and to see that done and you keep that for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying, because I got that letter too. I got that letter. I should frame it. I
Dang,
should frame
you
it. I remember
should.
the day that was like, but mine was, significantly lower, but still it was debt. The interest rate was crazy. And
Yeah.
so it was, in my mind, I was like, you know what? I'm not paying this. You can ask my wife. And she was like, why are you not paying your loans? Because nothing happens. You pay it. The interest is so high. Like, I still got that same 40,000 sitting there
It's so
every time I
high.
pay.
Yeah.
And it's like not going anywhere.
Right.
That was wild. That was
When
that
did you
was a
get
wild
your?
time.
When did you experience your loan forgiveness?
When?
Mm-hmm.
So I experienced my loan forgiveness in 2000. I want to say the beginning of 2022.
Okay.
Now you want
Okay.
to you want to know how it happened?
Yes.
Okay.
These
So like I
inspire
just said,
me to keep
I
going.
wasn't paying it.
Oh.
So I was, and I tried the 10-year, and they said I was just short. Even though I was working for a nonprofit for 11
Mm-hmm.
years, I'm not quite sure. I remember why I was short. They said a few of my payments were short, and I had like 2 to 3 years to go.
Now, see, that's
Right.
how they. Mm-hmm.
See,
That's how they get
I didn't
people.
have a Tatiana. I didn't have that person to know the system. And so I just quit again.
Mm-hmm.
The way we paid it, unfortunately COVID kicked in,
Mm-hmm.
and and I remember this distinctly when they were saying we're going to stop the interest rate and we're going to stop your payments, right? So I'm looking at Facebook and everybody's like, yeah, what you about to do with your money now? What you about to do with your money? I'm about to go do this. I'm about to go get this car, yada, yada, yada. Or drinks on me. I got the money now.
Drinks on me.
Right.
That's funny.
But something that we
We
wanted to
got
do was like, okay,
options in
there's
this life. Mm-hmm.
right. But the thing is, like, there's no interest.
Right.
I don't have to pay. So we said we're going to pay as if I still have to pay, because now everything goes to the principal.
Ooh. Okay.
So
Exactly. That's a really good strategy.
so that's what we did, and we pushed it. We gave tax refunds towards it,
Oh.
paychecks. We just dumped it, you know what I'm saying? And then uh, beginning of 2022, I think there was like 300 and something dollars left, and so me and my wife
Wow.
sitting together. It's like, all right, you want to finish off this payment? It's like, yeah, let's do it. So we did
What?
it, hit submit,
Come
and
on.
then waited on the letter. Finally got the letter, and then I heard the lady
Yes.
when I was reading that letter tell me that my student loan was paid in full. I
Oh,
was like,
Jesus.
wow, I thought this
That's a
would never
beautiful
happen.
feeling. That is
It
beautiful.
is like I thought this would never happen.
Yes.
And so it happened, but I think it came in kind of what you're doing. It came with a made up mind. Like I think at some point,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have the made up mind at first. I think that was my wife, because she's just like you, meaning she don't want to owe anybody anything.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, she
Mm-mm.
don't even want to owe a fee of $2 if we a convenience
It'll
fee of
okay,
paying
that'll eat me
online
up. I'm like,
because
what
I
is
owe you
this
two
fee?
dollars. Right. Exactly. And so so that was a good feeling to have. And not and I think, seeing your journey, I think that's being more like, okay, there's more people on the road doing this. So what are some steps that you're taking right now? I know you're waiting on the forgiveness, but we're talking about student loan, but there's other areas in your financial journey that you're really looking at. So I know student loan is there, but what's this other one specifically that, hey, I'm trying to get this part? And again, this show is not about people who've made it, who went to the mountaintop and they got it down pat. Now this is about the focus, right?
Hmm.
So what's that next step that you're looking at?
Has anyone? Okay, I don't know if it's not an interactive show, but has anyone watched Kill Bill? Like, have you
Oh,
seen Kill
yes.
Bill, Herbert? Okay,
Yes.
so Uma Thurman's character, the bride, she is very determined to kill
Mm-hmm.
Bill, but she has to get through these other people first. I have a Kill Bills list. Okay,
Oh,
so it's similar to the probably like the what is it, the avalanche method, where you go after the big debt first and then you go after the little debts, or is that the snowball method? I don't
that's
know.
snowball. That's
That's snowball. Okay.
yeah.
So I have a list of bills that I kind of every month I put in my financial journal what the amount is now at the end of the month, and then make sure that I'm following up with it so I can see, like, did the interest grow? How much did it grow over the years? And
Mm,
so that helps me identify how well I'm doing, because if I don't do it like that, then I'm not going to really see a difference, and it's going to kind of mess up my focus. So,
mm-hmm.
like, this is one of my old financial notebooks. I'm looking in it now, and I can see like my student loan debt in the year 2017 was at $89,187. 89. So 2017. We flash forward to 2023. How in the world did it become 97?
Mm,
652. Interest.
mm-hmm.
So if
That's
that
when the
doesn't
interest kicked
motivate
back in.
y'all, exactly. If that doesn't motivate y'all to do something about your debt, whatever it is, I don't know. You don't want to owe these institutions money. You're paying for Billy Bob's vacation with his family when you could be
Yep.
going on vacation. You know what I'm saying? Like, do what you need to do. I strategize in different ways. I have different debts, like I was mentioning. Like, I have a big credit card, and I'm very thankful. I just got approved for my first balance transfer to a new card. So that's one strategy that I'm implementing now, so I don't have to pay the high interest on that credit card.
Mm,
Because I work for nonprofit, I don't get paid as much, so it's still giving that paycheck to paycheck vibe. I mean, I've been blessed to be able to pay my bills, but it's not giving what I needed to give, especially with my years of experience and my
mm-hmm.
education levels, right? So I had to tap into credit cards every now and then to get me through, you know? So so that racked up, and it got me to this point where I have to pay this interest of like over $100. I'm like, oh no, pump the brakes. I'm not giving this
Mm.
institution any more of my money. I'm not going to name any of them because I might need them as a sponsor for my Debt Freedom Party later this year. Amen. So
Uh-huh.
so I ended up applying for a new credit card solely for the low interest rate and the 0% interest rate promotion. This card
Mm,
had 18 months 0% interest rate. That means I'm able to transfer my debt from the card I was paying on at first to this new card, not pay any interest on it, just pay that principal. My challenge is pay it all off within the 18 months. Because once it gets past that month 18, you're going to see like 21% at least. And I don't want to play that game.
mm-hmm.
I want to beat the
20,
clock. So that's my new challenge. So
man,
that's one way
21%.
that I've implemented the strategy this year of getting out of certain debt or out of credit card debt. Another one is to just be better with how you use your cards in general, right? Like, there's savings accounts, there's checking accounts, there's the credit card accounts. Depending on which kind, where your credit's at, all that good stuff, you want to unfortunately, we live in a country that's very capitalist, so you have to
Mm-hmm.
be under this credit system. Do your best to get your credit up and build it up in some kind of way. So if you have outstanding debt that you haven't paid back yet, maybe you're one of those people who are like, I refuse to pay my student loan debt. Get on some kind of payment plan. I know the president rolled out the Save Plan. There's these ramps to start paying it back again. Don't be rebellious and say you're not going to pay it, because that could hit your credit. You want to be able to get access to things in your near future, right? Like a car or
Mm-hmm.
a house, because who knows what the market's going to look like for both of those kind of purchases in the near future. So get that on a
Absolutely.
plan. Let them know your situation. Let them know maybe you can go on what I've been on all this time was the income driven repayment plan. When you're on public student loan forgiveness, they put you on income driven repayment because
Yep.
they're like, we know you don't make that much money because you're doing public service. We're gonna give you a heads up. We're gonna help you out, and you're not gonna be able to pay as much as you would, let's say, if you're working a corporate job making more money. So it's you gotta
Mm-hmm.
find what works for you, pick your struggle basically, and
Mm-hmm.
you have to play it smart. So find out your plan, get the plan, sign up for it, and pay faithfully every month. If you have to pay even the minimum for your credit card, pay that minimum, right? And if you have a little extra, fight the temptation to go and buy something, or just be just do whatever with it. Go ahead and discipline yourself and discipline that flesh. You'll be like, nah, let me drop this payment on
Yep.
this bill, because every little bit counts. And I have a couple of resources that I can share with you guys. One that I've been using for my car loan that I took out in 2009
2000.
that I'm paying back now. I've been paying on it, but it's like it's not going anywhere. But it's finally making traction. You know why? Because I'm making extra payments. And the
There you
reason
go.
why I'm making extra payments is because I'm using tools to help me make extra payments. One is
Mm.
called Changed. It's called Changed, like the word change, past tense, changed, and has a little
Right.
squirrel on it. It's super cute, but it's a super easy way for you to store money away to make towards a debt. And so I've been
Ah.
using that for several years, and I've seen a huge difference already in the this private loan amount that I owe. Even if it's an extra $100 made towards it every
Mm-hmm.
month, it can make a difference, because if you get it between a certain time, after you make your last month's payment and before the interest for the new bill kicks in, you're in a sweet spot and you can knock out some more debt. So you won't have
Nice.
interest on the amount that you owe should you have not paid that amount. It's worth a try. I have that link available in the link in my bio for Changed. I highly recommend it.
Okay.
You guys can go to my IG page, honestly Tatiana, and it's on my LinkedIn, or not LinkedIn, but it's in that link in my bio. Sign up for it. And basically, you're making everyday purchases with your debit card, right? They round up your change and they take it out. You're not going to miss that money
Really?
because it's like in the single digits. You can even put a limit on it if you want to, so you can keep in charge of your money. Once it
Mm.
reaches that $100 mark of money that is stored up from your purchases, that money gets taken over to wherever you tell it to go. Like, oh, I wanted to go to my federal loans. Oh, I wanted to go to this private loan. Oh, I wanted to go to this credit card. You can do that now. They got the credit card
Mm.
option now. Or I
Wow.
wanted to go toward this other loan, XYZ. They'll take care of it for you. And then if you have the app, it's best to have the app. They show you how you're doing. Like, oh, this is the year that you'll be done with this debt if you keep going with us this way. And they also compare it to if you didn't use the app. So it's kind of giving you that
Mm.
dangly carrot, that
Yep.
incentive to keep saving, to keep not spending, but spend wiser. We all have
Mm.
to buy stuff. We all have to go to the store. We have to get
Yep.
gas. We have to go eat. We have to do this. We want to have fun. Do those things. But when you spend that money, make sure that you give a little extra to that next goal. So that's changed, and I highly recommend it.
Change.
Hmm.
Change. You still got to struggle because you're saying put extra, so that means we gotta cut certain things out.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what you're saying? Huh.
Yeah, thankfully I'm not a
Eh,
coffee drinker, so I'm not like
that's
addicted
the main
to
thing. Yeah. Yeah,
drinking
that's the main.
coffee and making, getting that outside. If anything, I think my big splurge would be probably eating out because I live in South Florida and there's a lot of they charge a lot for food out here.
Mm.
So you trying to go out with your friends after church or just go out to brunch or something like that and you end up paying like 40, 20, 20, 40, $60 for yourself. I'm like, yeah, that adds up after a
That's
while,
why.
right? So you gotta, either cut back or discipline yourself. Like, okay, I'm gonna get this app. I'm gonna get Tatiana's link so I can get money
Mm-hmm.
and so she can get money too. I mean,
Get
we both
change.
hello, we both win. So yeah, I think that's
Wow.
really smart. I have another strategy if you have time.
Yeah.
Okay.
We got it.
Okay, so I also was looking into if you still have a little money on the side and you have travel goals like I do. I like to travel. I can't say I've been all over the world yet because I had to put all those travel goals on the back burner to
Mm-hmm.
to work this job, to be
For
in
the
this
greater goal.
program, to grind, right? I had to dedicate 10 years to grinding and really just staying focused on getting this done because I'm doing
Yeah.
my part. And I unfortunately have to put my trust in the government to keep this program alive so that they do their part and do what they said they were going to do. And I'm just like, Lord, okay.
Mm-hmm.
um so if you want to travel like me and you do want to travel and go out of the country, there are ways that you can save money on that as well. It's not just using rewards points to get plane tickets and stuff like that. You can do that, but it's important that you are wise about how you spend your money in these countries. I learned about this card not too long ago. I signed up for it and I think it's fabulous. I was trying to go to France and I ended up not going, but I got the card to use in case I needed to convert my American dollars to euros out there. And
Uh,
if you didn't know already, guys, like a lot of our credit cards, like sure you can use this nice American credit card in another country. It's just gonna cost you. We're not gonna tell
mm.
you though. We're not gonna tell you up front. It's in that fine print in that little document that you get when you get your card. You want to open the card and look at the card and be ready to use it, but you're not looking at all that paperwork. They're telling you
Mm.
that in that fine terms and conditions there that if you use this card that you just got out of the country, you're going to pay transaction fees, you're going to pay foreign fees, and it adds up. You want to save money that way. Start early and save yourself some time too by keep from going to the currency exchange or try to bring all this cash to the bank, try to convert it to
Mm.
money that you may not even use. Like, let's say you're going to a country that uses the bot currency. Like,
Right.
who's your local bank may not have bot, and maybe you don't have time to go to the ATM at the airport and change it either. So
Mm-hmm.
what I did was sign up for a Wise account or Wise card, and it's a bright lime green. It's a company based out of I think Singapore, and I had to wait a few weeks to get my card in the mail. So it's definitely not an American company, but they're amazing because you can again use an app to send yourself money to the card. It'll be in American dollars, and then you can convert it to whatever country's currency you're going to. So let's say you're going to Australia, you can convert it to Australian money, convert it to Jamaican money, convert it, and you can see the rate, the exchange rate as well. So you can keep track of like,
Mm.
oh, this is how powerful my dollar is in this country today. So if you plan on going out of the country, whether you're going to maybe a family vacation or you're going to a destination wedding or you're just going out of the country just because you want to treat yourself, it's important to be wise. So I definitely use the Wise
And this
card.
is a wise card.
Absolutely. And I have
A
a link for
wise card.
that. I have a link for that as well in my IG page. So again, go to Honestly Tatiana, click the link in my bio, and you'll see a button just for the Wise card. Apply for that and use it. You can also use it while you're here in the States too. I use it
Mm.
as a budget card. So when I get paid, instead of using my regular debit card, I give myself a budget because I will overspend if I don't do this. I'll
Mm-hmm.
send it to the Wise card and just use it as American money. It works just like a regular debit card or credit card.
Mm.
Yeah, you just
See,
swipe and tap.
I hope y'all
Mm-hmm.
have your notepads out, because you just getting put on game on what you should do, and it looks like you have tons of information to share, and so they can go to your, like you said, your IG page at honestly Tatiana. You can see the wise card. You can see what to do with your loan. What and one more thing. What do you do as far as budget? It's just simply, hey, I'm trying to figure out a budget and what to spend, how not to overspend, like you said. What's a good resource for that?
Let's see. I've been using a financial journal. Like I said, I like to write personally, so I like to break down every paycheck, what that paycheck is going to cover in terms of bills. Like I start off with my tithes, that's the first line, period,
Mm-hmm.
and then I go on, then I go on to the other bills that are due within that time frame between that paycheck and the next paycheck. So I kind of organize it that way, and then when I go off of that, I try to do the math. You can see the equations forming right in front of me, like, and try to see like, okay, so this is how much I need to put towards this credit card, or this is how much I need to pay towards this debt. You know what I mean? So that helps me a lot.
Mm.
After I do all that adding up, then I see, okay, I have this amount to work with. I need to not just work with a budget, but I need to be disciplined, right?
Yeah, there it
Just
is.
a lot of us may have credit cards. We have the freedom, but we still have to pay it back. Remember
Still
that.
gotta pay that back.
There's still that little young Tatiana in me that wants to do what I want to do, but I had to pull back because I don't have the means to pay this credit card in full at the end of the month. That's my reality right now, but it won't
Yeah.
always be like that in Jesus' name. So
Mm-hmm.
I look forward to being able to use my credit cards wisely to rack up points and then get the rewards like cash back and points and all that. But in terms of the budget, I think keeping score of what you're spending your paycheck on, your priorities first, get those checked out, and then you'll see what you have to work with, and really discipline yourself. Like, okay, can I save, how much can I, of this can I save, what do I really need to be spending my money on with this paycheck during this time of the month, because
Mm.
anything could happen too. You want to be prepared for emergencies. You want to be prepared for the basics that, right, that cover yourself, like housing essentials, toilet paper,
Mm-hmm.
food,
Yep.
gas for the car. Like sometimes people don't budget that in, but you have to. All those little
You
things, they
got
add
to.
up.
Entertainment, whatever it is,
Exactly.
the gummy worms that you like to buy at the gas station
How
when you
you
get gas.
know?
That's me. That's
All in
that's
my
me. That's what I do.
business.
That's exactly what I do. That's like a tradition for me. Every time I go to the gas station,
I love
gotta give me a pack of
it.
gummy worms or some
Hmm.
sharks or something. But
Yes.
that's good. Yeah, factoring all that stuff in. Now, listen, man, we only have a limited time, so there has to be a part two somewhere, or you can just go ahead and follow on Instagram and get all these tips. One of them I really did like was the Kill Bill list. Right, you got a
Hmm.
list of like Dave Ramsey said, Ramsey said the death snowball, knocking it out, and then just rolling it into that final one. And I'm thinking that final bill, that final monster, once you knock everything else out, because
So
I'm telling you,
sweet.
man, I'm telling you, the debt free is going to come. It's going to happen. You got to stay committed. And again, even um, just the real crux behind this podcast is not chasing other things. I guess, waiting for that instant gratification and what you want now, but playing the
Hmm.
long game. Like, what do you want to
Absolutely.
have? 5, 6, I mean, you think 10 years is a long time from now, but it's really not.
Hmm.
Because you did the 10-year program and you went through it, and 10 years came and went. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? So yeah, playing the long game. So what? So I need some lasting words from you. Well, first, do you have like in any sessions, like any counseling sessions, financial sessions, or this is just something that you're just doing on your own and you just kind of want to share it?
Yeah, right now I'm just sharing my journey and sharing these little victories that I have, or
Yeah.
resources that I can share to help people, because knowledge is power, right? And I wish I knew some of these things 10 years ago. I wish I knew, so hopefully it'll help someone who maybe in my situation 10 years ago or 5 years ago or last year, and they just want to know, like, hey, how can I get rid of this debt, or how can I, budget this, or how can I get track of my finances. We're in the
Mm-hmm.
beginning of 2024, so a lot of people have dreams and aspirations and resolutions that they're going to be financially well, but what are you going
Mm-hmm.
to do about it? So I'm trying to put these resources out there to
That's it.
help people. And so my parting words with everybody would be to not beat yourself up, to not feel ashamed about the mistakes you made, just learn from them and choose not to make those same choices, right? Make better choices, make different choices. There's so much knowledge out here, there's resources out here. Ask around. If you think it exists, like the solution, it probably does. Right. Like I'm so
Mm-hmm.
thankful for these resources that I do use, like Changed and Wise. Like I'm promoting them because I believe in them, because I use
Mm.
them. They've helped me, so I want them to help other people. I'm in the student loan program. I tell everybody who asks about student loans about it, because it's worked for me. I can finally see after all these years that it's actually manifesting. So I'm
Right.
grateful for that. So just gotta keep pressing and not be hard on yourself. Just go forward and do something different. Invest in yourself.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I appreciate you coming on. Definitely helpful for me for sure. And listen, y'all, again, follow her on at honestly Tatiana. Also, go ahead and subscribe to the Dangling Carrot podcast on YouTube. Follow us on IG at Dangling_Carrot, and so you can get the notifications and because again, I'm just sharing content. I am not the expert at none of these things, but there are people that are. And Tatiana gave you like 6 or 7 resources that you can use. And I'm
And there's
sure there's a
always
lot
more.
more. And there's more. And there's
There's
more.
always more. Yeah.
But again, thank you for coming on. It was definitely a pleasure.
Thank you so much, Herbert. I appreciate it. Thank you for giving me the space to share my story. I look forward to sharing
Absolutely.
so much more with everybody. And if there's a part two, there probably will be, so I
Yeah,
can
I'm sure.
flex on what the Lord has done
There
for
you go.
me.
We
Yeah.
need to hear that follow up. So again, y'all take care of yourself. Thank y'all for tuning in. And we out, y'all.
Bye, y'all.